Welcome back, everybody, to the Legendary Series Season 2 Finals. I'm here in the player area with a lot of the players are just chilling or even friends of the players. This is genuinely a relaxed area. I'm joined by Demigod, the Rat, and Trump. It's not too much about talking to them, but more about talking to you guys and letting you know where we currently sit in the show. So for anybody just tuning in or coming hot off the break and have a short-term memory, we just got through Group A, where Trump and Demigod were able to take the top 2 spots. Good job, boys. And Group B is about to begin, where we have Kolento versus Leadpaint, followed by Kit Kats and Domdis. You saw several of these players all throughout the day. I think Kit Kats had a quick interview, as well as Domdis being able to cast, so that was awesome. And of course, you know Kolento, but we don't know too much about Leadpaint. And I guess I'll ask Trump, do you know anything about Leadpaint at all?
Yeah, I actually went to BlizzCon, or Blizzard HQ with him, and he's a very cool guy. I know that he, I'm very excited that he introduced me to Caseytron. Very cool. Let's see, so behind the scenes, there's been a lot of players have been talking about Patron Warrior, and there's like a...
Oh, no, you can't just, I thought you were going to talk about behind the scenes with Caseytron. What's it like meeting her? Oh. You can't just transition to Patron Warrior after you're saying you meet Caseytron.
Hey, it was just an introduction online in text, yada yada. I was promised some things, but we'll get them later.
Was it promised things of value?
Pretty valuable to most people.
All right. We just went there. That just happened. All right. So we do have a good Group B, and you're talking about Patron Warrior. So do you have any predictions for Group B, Trump?
All right, so it's going to be a fight of people who brought Patron Warrior versus people who prepared against Patron Warrior. So we're going to see which one comes out on top. Based on everyone's confidence here about Patron Warrior, I kind of lean towards the Patron Warrior guys being better. But, hey, I made it through without Patron Warrior. Anything can happen.
All right, well, there you go. A vote of confidence for Trump on behalf of those who do not play Patron Warrior. Just to kind of give a little bit of overview as well, we encourage you guys to stay connected in the conversation. Let us know what you think as well by hashtagging HLS or tweeting at ESL Hearthstone, and let the players know how they're doing or some of your favorite matches. Maybe even talk about how good of a job the casters are doing as well, because I'm really happy Crip, TJ, as well as Chalky. Excuse me, I got choked up there thinking about Crip. It was awesome. We also want to tell you about the raffle that we're giving away. Cool stuff thanks to our sponsors, Gigabyte and Plantronics, ESL.gg/Season2Finals. Go to that link. You can find everything you need in order to get and participate in that raffle and those cool giveaway swag. And with that, I believe we're going to preview this match, Kolento versus Leadpaint. We got an opportunity to see Leadpaint twice throughout the regular season where he qualified through the open bracket. But what is he really in person? We have an opportunity to sit down with him, as well as Kolento, to talk about each other.
My name is Alexander Malish, but you may know me as a Kolento, and I'm a Hearthstone player from Ukraine.
My name is Frank, also known as Leadpaint. I'm 26 years old, I'm from Kansas City, Missouri, and I play for the Grand National Champions.
Many MMORPGs I played before, and I didn't have a name for another character, so I just made this name.
The name Leadpaint was given to me by Caseytron. I said I needed an intense-sounding name, and she was like, how about Leadpaint? It was also a character I played in World of Warcraft. It was the name of my Death Knight.
I had a real job, and it's probably slightly better, of course, to play games than it would have been for me to just work. It's not a glamorous life. I need to travel a lot, and it takes a lot of time and energy. And when you do it often, it's not fun at all.
Outside of Hearthstone, I'm currently a senior in a computer science program. I'm going to be graduating this year.
I enjoy participating in online tournaments much more, as it doesn't take my time to fly or stay in a hotel, and after I'm done I can do whatever I want to.
Honestly, most of my time is spent watching Twitch streams or doing things related to Twitch, since a lot of my friends are streamers. No rock climbing. Very, very little physical movement.
If I would win this tournament with $10,000, I would probably just put it into my bank to other $10,000 prizes I won before.
If I win this $10,000, I'm gonna probably pay off my student loans or whatever I can from them, and then order myself a pizza and celebrate.
So my first opponent is Leadpaint, and I have no idea who this guy is. I've never seen him before.
My first round opponent is going to be Kolento, who's a player that I respect a lot. I consistently see him make these plays that I would just totally miss.
I always try to imagine what will happen if I do one play or another play, and what are the odds of the play being better than other play.
I realize that I'm never going to be Kolento, but, you know, if all goes according to plan, I'm going to smork him down and move on to round 2.
So I guess I'll just play like a ladder game without expecting too much, just playing as I would play without knowing anything about my opponent.
I think it's unlikely that I win, but I think that it's still Hearthstone and anybody can win, especially if I smork him hard enough. And so that's the game plan.
What are my chances to win? I guess it's like always not so high. We'll see.
We will see indeed. Kolento and Leadpaint. That was an awesome segment. Shout out to the ESL production crew as we got to get to know these players a lot more in depth. It seems like Frank, or Leadpaint, he's very cheery and very upbeat. What do you think Demigod about his chances? He said he didn't think he stood too much of a chance, but you know, he felt like he had some opportunity to win. What do you think?
I believe that anyone has a chance to win Hearthstone. So, like I said, pray for the gods and they'll help you.
Yeah, play your best and let RNGs take care of the rest. I think that's the saying. So in the Hearthstone gospel. Did I quote that correctly? From Duraxis 316, I'm not sure. Taking a look at these guys' classes and matchups is going to be coming up in just a second, but I do want to have an opportunity for predictions. So Trump, who we taking, Kolento or Leadpaint?
Man, Leadpaint is a really humble guy. But, you know, he's right here. Kolento is probably the favorite.
All right, and Demigod?
It's a toss-up. I think Kolento got this, though.
All right, so 2 votes for Kolento. I'm going to go with Leadpaint because the one thing that sticks out about him compared to some of the other players that I've seen throughout my entire time is that he gets really creative with some of his decks. And I know that TJ definitely agrees with me, and I can't wait to hear what he has to say along with Crip and Chalky over at the commentator's desk.
Thanks, Frodan. I have to say, those are probably the best interviews I've ever seen for a Hearthstone match. You did that, didn't you?
Awesome. Yeah, I was one of the ones asking the questions to the guys.
The
trying to get
genius
some answers
behind.
after him. Yeah.
It was like Kolento was like a Jedi or something, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he was a very intimidating person to talk to. And Leadpaint, of course, he was one of my favorite people to talk to because he's just one of the most genuinely funny guys that I've ever had a chance to talk to.
Yeah, the interview was like polar opposites. Like Kolento talked about how he likes online tournaments. Leadpaint talked about how happy he is to be here. And yeah, I mean, Kolento doesn't know who he is. Leadpaint very much respects Kolento, knows all about him. So,
but he's gonna try and smork him down.
I'm gonna smork him down. I respect the honesty.
I don't think like your personality really reflects in the way you play Hearthstone at all. So I don't think we're gonna see too much unusual stuff. But you were saying that you saw some crazy decks from Leadpaint in the past. What was that like? What was it like casting this player?
It was actually really cool. The Malagos Warlock was what won him the Redemption Week. Redemption Week number 2 was actually the one he won. He qualified twice for a Legendary Series regular season week. Because he made it to the open bracket twice. And he actually lost both of those weeks, but then made it back in the Redemption Tournament and won the tournament with a Malagos Warlock. So we can take a look at the bracket on the screen. First matchup is going to be Kolento versus Leadpaint. And after that, we're going to go into Kit Kats versus Domtis.
We'll have the same format. We'll do winners versus winners, losers versus losers.
Yep.
And then we'll see who the runner-up seed will be.
Yeah. All right, Chalky. We got the predictions from the other players on the couch.
Man.
You're being put on the spot.
Yeah, I mean, I think I have to agree with them that Kolento is probably the favorite here. Leadpaint even said it himself. I think if there's any solace to be had for him, maybe his lineup is better in this particular matchup. I know that Kolento likes to bring some unorthodox classes. He has Priest. He has been sticking by Priest in a lot of tournaments. He's done really well with it, though.
Yeah.
And whether that's, you know, unique play style or different deck lists, he stands by it as one of the top 3 classes, which no one else claims it is.
I like Priest.
I like Priest too, Crip.
It's fun.
I like Priest too, you know?
I don't know about that.
Like fun decks and like winning tournaments are usually different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Kolento
combines them.
Yeah. Kolento actually used Priest in the week that he won the Legendary Series. So the famous, he was actually playing from his bed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He had his
that was a
laptop
good one.
propped up. Yeah.
Now you've cast all these matches. Now that we've seen some of the players now in the final, do you see a lot of similarities between like what got them here and what they're playing today?
No.
No?
Because it spanned over such a long period of time that some of these cards didn't even exist at the beginning of the Legendary Series.
Yeah, Patron was not a thing.
Yeah.
That's pretty good priest hand.
And I know Kolento likes Control Warrior. He used that in the week he qualified as well.
That is
so
correct.
it'll be interesting to see if he's stuck to what he likes or if he has shifted over to what some people consider more powerful. But yeah, that is a really good priest hand. I can see why he's a good priest player.
To be fair, though, the Grim Patron Warriors were knocked out of the Group A, and the non-Patron Warriors moved up.
There was
from
only
Group A.
one Patron Warrior. And to be fair, he might have won the series, one of the series.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see a lot more Patron, a lot more control in this tournament. We do see Leadpaint. He waited a long time to mulligan. He's going to get the bad news.
Yeah.
It is a 3-keep.
Yeah, the 3-keep is like the thing that you don't want to see. This looks like the interesting sort of token tempo mage with the double mechanical Yeti and like Flame Waker plus.
Yeah.
Another thing you guys may have missed was the hand tap of Kolento. I think he was pretty bored in the mulligan stage. Do you think we can get him a pillow?
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's something Leadpaint goes for. Just fatigue him out in real life.
It's 90 second per turn.
Yeah. Oh, it's actually 70 seconds.
There's no bet
you know
here.
I didn't. That was a minute and a half.
Well, unless Life Coach lied to me, and I figured Life Coach is one of the people that would know about that the most.
No, I
Okay.
think it's 90.
He told me that Blizzard changed it a little while ago from 90 to
Wow,
70.
that is so unfair.
He said they didn't
he
even
would be the
announce
one
it.
to notice.
Exactly, he told me.
He'd be like sitting there. He's like, yeah, we make this play. What? Roll 20 seconds, really?
Wow! I felt like Life Coach was actually here with me. In a Dignitas
Life
hoodie.
Coach is with everyone in spirit when they hit that rope right at the end.
Yeah, so he's going to go for the Blade Master circle right off the bat.
Why not?
Yeah, he's got another one and a shield. He might want to Madness next turn, so he's just going to get it out of his hand right now. No way that thing's dying.
Is there no way? No, it could have
Yeah,
been.
there's no way.
It could have been like an Arcane Missiles 3 into that, and then
Okay.
a Flame Cannon.
Whoa!
Crazy.
Way.
Way.
Yep.
So I've played quite a bit of this deck on ladder over the past couple weeks, and I actually really like it. But the one thing bad about it is that sometimes it can have inconsistent draws because it's a tempo mage, but a lot of the times you can get caught with a lot of big spells in your hands, or you never get value out of the things that the deck is sort of made for, like Flame Waker. You have mechanical Yetis. A lot of times you have like one Clockwork Gnome to be able to get spare parts. But a lot of times it's hard to get going, especially when your opponent has such an explosive start. Sometimes you can get caught behind and you feel like you can never catch up.
Yeah.
I kind of like the heal Power Word Shield over Shadow Madness here. Like if Leadpaint didn't attack into your creature last turn, he's probably not going to this next turn.
Yeah, the secret doesn't seem like that big of a deal at this point. Because basically all you're doing with Shadow Madness is destroying a 2/2 scientist. Which is good, but is it worth your whole turn?
Yeah, it's good, but it's not worth your whole turn. And actually, if you do that, you get punished by Flame Cannon. And you will get punished by Flame Cannon.
Because Shadow Madness gets better as the game goes on, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's never going to be a bad card in this matchup.
Yeah. Though if he does make that play, I can't blame him either. Like, it's not a bad play. It just feels a little stronger not to Shadow Madness.
There's basically 3 different plays here. I don't think you're really going to play the Akanai and have that be your play. It's either Blade Master, Shield, Heal Shield, or just Madness. I'm going to start off with the Shield, of course, to draw.
Looks good.
Yeah. He gets Light of the Naru to go with the Soul Priest later on, too. That's nice.
Arcane Intellect. That's a pretty good draw to refill his hand, but his curve right now is just really weird.
Yeah. The thing is, like, the Mage is supposed to be the class doing unfair things.
The
like
aggressor,
with
at least.
Mad Scientist, because it cheats out a secret.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, Priest kind of cheats out, like, a 4/7. It's almost like innervating a Yeti with the Circle of Healing. And that's what happened this game, and now the Priest is way ahead on board. And Arcane Intellect is, like, later in the game you want that card to keep yourself going. But this early on, it just kills your
It's
tempo.
so terrible.
Yeah. Like, what can you even do here?
I think some of these run Flame Strike, maybe that.
Okay.
Yeah, this list actually, I mean, there's a lot of different lists, and putting in one card, you have room for it. Like, you already put in Kazan Mystic, which wasn't in, like, the original list.
I mean...
But it usually doesn't, because you're relying so much on tempo that if you get to a point where you have to Flame Strike in order to, like, live, you've already sort of lost the game. But it could be put in this, but I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't.
Yeah, he can get like a pretty crazy turn after Emperor. Like if he draws his other Flame Waker or something, maybe with really good pings and a really good Flame Cannon. But
I think it's just so hard to come back from.
That Blade Master is going to live for a really long time.
Yeah. The thing is, like, with decks being mostly one-dimensional and Tempo Mage being exactly that, if you don't have tempo, the deck just doesn't work.
Right, that's the deck's name. Like, it needs to have tempo.
Yeah.
And he's just pinging face,
Yeah,
which I feel like is, like, pretty desperation, because he's not even close to killing him.
I think pinging face means I don't have Flame Strike, by the way. So if you ping the Akanai, he's like, yeah, I might have Flame Strike.
Yeah.
So I think pinging face, he's just like, there's no way I'm ever clearing this board. Like, I don't know. It's going to be a rough game.
Wouldn't be surprised if that first injured Blade Master that was played on, what, turn 3 is going to be the thing that deals the killing blow.
Yeah.
That's just how hard that thing is to deal with.
So, yeah, he's just going to go with the Emperor. Try to set up a crazy turn.
It is a crazy turn. He can do Dr. Boom, Sorcerer Apprentice, Mirror Image, and Flame Cannon.
Yeah, but what does that even do?
Mostly just Flame Cannon.
Yeah. I guess it kind of helps.
Just the fact that he can do it.
Yeah, I feel like maybe he should have pinged that Akanai that one turn. That he just pinged face.
Yeah, that's
26 to 25.
At the very least, you send the message that you have Flame Strike.
Well,
so the priest might just artificially slow down.
You also just like need to do something with Flame Cannon, which luckily there's a Harrison out. So
oh my god, that is a really good draw, but I would wait one turn.
I'd like the boom here.
Yeah.
Like, I'd like your play, Crip, where you maybe clear a 5-4 and get lucky, but he's just going to slam Antonidas. Luckily, it cannot be stolen by Cabal. It can be stolen by Shadow Menace, but there's no point in doing that.
And he can deal with this pretty easily. Just throw and it's 2 creatures in.
Yeah, ping off the Antonidas.
Yeah.
I like stealing a taunt, though. I like the Cabal.
You Cabal a taunt, you ping off the ping the Antonidas, kill a taunt, and then kill it with your 5-4. Seems reasonable.
Very reasonable. Super excited about that play.
Woo. Yeah. Think about Priest when you're like winning. It's like how shall I destroy you?
4 damage at a time.
Gosh,
what's
Priest
the chance a Tempo Mage can do 27 with no board? Do I need to like think about healing myself soon?
Well, he can't heal himself.
He can't even heal himself, so the decisions are even shorter.
Start killing off his
Start killing off his Akanai.
Yeah. He could have absolutely healed there. Could have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for
definitely,
sure.
Crip.
Yep.
Or you know, he could set up lethal and win the game. So,
Leadpaint's in the zone right now. Like, you talk to him sort of outside of him playing Hearthstone, and he's sort of like a...
Yeah, pretty goofy guy.
Pretty cheery. Likes a bouncy, maybe, is the...
Yeah, he gets down to it, though, when it's game time.
Yeah, just doesn't even look like his eyes are open. Oh,
he's no Earthen Ring Farseer, that's for sure.
You can't do anything.
Yeah.
Sorcerer's Apprentice makes Flame Cannon free. Fireball costs 3. Super good.
This is not the way you want your first match to go.
No.
I think you actually Flame Cannon first, because you want to hit one of the 5 health creatures. Then you Fireball the other one.
You have to be, like, completely optimistic at this point, whatever you do.
Like, this is...
You have to play around perfect RNG.
Oh, I see. Just wants to fill up the board with creatures. Okay.
Yeah, can't Flame Cannon now, really.
Yeah.
One thing that he has going for him is that, you know, Kolento's sort of running out of cards.
He's just barely alive.
No.
Nope, not
He's got
anymore.
4.
Not even close.
Not anymore.
It could be worse. He could have 5, maybe even
Double
6
Shadow
cards.
Madness turn. The double Shadow Madness and a heal because it costs 1 less.
That's just game.
Oh,
man.
it's just lethal.
What he
Yeah,
should have
okay,
done
never
was
mind.
Shrinkmeister the Yeti. Taking that.
Or, you know, like
Wow.
you said,
Overkill.
just kill him.
Yeah,
All right,
you
well-
can just kill him.
Kolento is going to take game number 1 in the series, and this one's not looking too good for Leadpaint if that game is going to sort of set the pace for the rest of the series.
Well, that was a very unusual game. I mean, that was like,
That was just
I
the
think-
nuts priest draw is all.
Yeah.
but it was also the first priest we've seen,
Right.
and it may have been even the first tempo mage. No,
Yeah.
yeah,
But
priest versus tempo mage is not a match.
priest doesn't always look
Really
that
expected.
pretty.
Yeah, it's well, that's part of it too. Like, if
Like-
priest gets like a nice tempo lead on the mage, it's like game over. As
Right,
we were
that's
talking
one of
about.
those games where it's like any priest wins that game.
Yeah, a
we
lot of
didn't we
them.
didn't get to see any like Kolento plays.
Right.
That's a huge tempo play from the priest. So you just basically out early tempoed the
Right.
tempo mage, and there's not much you can do.
At the same time, it wasn't just that the priest had like a really high tempo, a really good opener. The mage just had a
Dr.
incredibly
Boom,
terrible one.
Dr. Boom
Yeah.
Thorson
Yeah.
in like the first 5 cards,
Right.
and Kazan Mystic as well, which is actually a good call because he was expecting probably lots of other mages, maybe Freeze Mage, and lots of Hunter, of course. So Kazan
Renopharian.
Mystic, yeah,
Yep.
Yep.
It's very
That's a
interesting.
possibility, too.
Yeah. I don't think Kolento has any secret decks, so no real disadvantage to showing the Kazan.
no, he's got Warrior, Warlock, Priest are his
Yeah.
3 classes. so
Probably
that-
Handlock. Maybe Demon Zoo. I know he and Strifeco really liked that.
Mhm. Well, if he is keeping the tempo mage, what do you think Kolento will go with here?
He is not
Warrior.
keeping the Tempo Mage.
Druid.
Leadpaint wins the mind game if there was in fact one.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe they both just rolled dice.
Mhm.
We've seen the first Priest so far today, and now we're going to
Druid.
see the first Druid.
Yeah.
And the first tempo mage.
I'm a little surprised
First
this is
Tempo
the
Mage.
first Druid. Like
Yeah, Druid's
I know a lot of
traditionally an
people-
extremely good tournament
they
class.
like it as a third deck.
Yeah.
Well, Druid is sort of, once upon a time, it was that deck that was just consistent. Like in the old Last Hero Standing formats, it was a deck that you knew that if you opened with it, it would always have decent matchups against everything. But
Right.
it seems like the game is like speeding up. And even now when Druids get the crazy starts with Wild Growths and Innervates, sometimes they can still lose, which was something that didn't really exist before like GVG cards came out. Everybody else can accelerate too now that Emperor Thor's
Yeah, but it still kind of follows in a decent place in the Conquest format where it can still beat just about everything with an
Yeah.
extremely good draw.
So Kolento is patron.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Surprised me a little bit, but let's see if he has adapted within the last month to the new meta. I'm sure he has played plenty of games of it.
Do you think his math skills are up to par?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's made a lot of really good like mathematical plays in
Yeah,
like
of course.
late fatigue games.
Of course.
He's one of like the players that almost always makes the correct play that leads to the optimal way to win.
Yeah. Leadpaint even said in his interview, he said sometimes he watches Kolento and he makes plays that he would have
Yeah.
never spotted. And sometimes people will say, I've watched a lot of games where, even myself, when I'm casting him, I'll say, oh, looks like Kolento's in a bad spot. I don't know if that was the best play. But then he wins
Do you
and
like
you look
dropping
back.
both wraths? Is
Yeah,
it like
well,
super important to
I was
get a
gonna
wild
say,
growth?
I think Leadpaint might think he's Control Warrior. Because before this tournament, Kolento really hasn't had a chance to show Patron Warrior.
Well, it's pretty
He's been-
terrible draws from both players.
Yeah.
But again, that probably favors the Patron Warrior because his combo is stronger.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you can just play Frothing on 3 as a unit. And I mean, the Dread Corsair is going to cost 1 with the Axe. And
Oh, yeah, that actually
whenever
really
you play
big.
against a Druid and they don't have Innervate or Wild Growth, you have to feel like that favors you, even if your draw is pretty mediocre.
Druid is probably one of the classes that Fire Warx is not quite as good against because there's not a lot of early plays that you can punish with Fire Warx.
Yeah, this definitely telegraphs no Death Spite, too.
Just equipping the Fire Warx and
Yeah.
not hitting anything.
I like not coining there. The hand,
me
is,
too.
the hand is really bad, so if you start coining out Shade and draw something bad after that,
Wow.
oh my god.
2 Corsairs.
The tempo.
Do you think you might Frothing here?
Yeah.
Frothing and then double Corsair into something, maybe like Whirlwind?
Yeah, seems fine. I don't know if I'd like Whirlwind my Corsairs just for extra damage.
It's more.
Kolento's gone for the Corsairs, decides to... This does develop more damage.
Yeah, and the Frothing Berserkers are actually pretty useful in this matchup. You're not under any pressure. You saw he didn't have the big Innervate or Wild Growth play, so it's not like you're setting up to kill something, because even if he like coin Innervates a Druid of the Call the following turn, you wouldn't be able to kill it without using a ridiculous amount of resources. Whereas this, I mean, at least if he Innervates out or something crazy, you can just throw these two.
Senjin's actually pretty good here.
Yeah, I don't think anything's really that great.
Yeah, the problem with Senjin is you have to use your coin, and that kind of screws up your curve, but...
I think you actually have to be greedy and play Shade.
Play Shade, yeah. He's going to be taking
not
a
only
lot
you
of
save
damage.
the coin, but you can maybe trade up if you just wait another turn.
Yeah. Well, Kolento's hand's getting a little dry. He hasn't drawn any draw cards. He got all the tempo with the Corsairs. I know a lot of people have cut down to 1 on those, and this is sort of their strength and weakness at the same time, where their strength is he's ahead on board a lot, but the weakness is going to come back later in that he's running out of cards.
And the ideal patron start is in your opening hand a mixture of card draw and weapons.
Yeah, this is a
and
ton
then
of
Emperor's
Druid.
Horse in.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised
This is
too.
Taunt Druid with combo, because we saw Savage Roar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sort of
probably 2 roars, 1 force, or 1 of each.
I think 1 of each is maybe a bit more common from what I've seen.
Yeah, I have heard a few people say that they think the very taunt-heavy deck can beat the patron list as long as they don't like draw both executes.
Yeah, I was having that feeling. I was one of those people. But you kind of need to ramp to do that.
He's definitely going to need to stabilize this game, though. He's taking a lot of damage.
Yeah.
a lot of damage, not even from the things that you usually take damage from in your
it's just
Invasion Warrior.
those Dread Corsairs have put out 12 so far.
They're bringing the Flood and the Thunder.
And he's going to use Coin. This kind of sucks for him, because now it's like Ancient War comes out a turn later. He's going to have to play one of the weaker taunts next turn. And against an Emperor, he's just going to have to trade in Shade.
Seems fine, though.
Yeah. As long as the Warrior doesn't draw into much draw, like Armorsmith is great. 2 Armorsmith is great for Leadpaint to see here.
Yeah.
Because, like, who cares if he
I
has...
actually think Leadpaint is in decent shape right now.
Yeah.
Because, like, his health pool doesn't really matter at the stage
Your
of when
taunts
he...
just add on to your health.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if he can just make it to that stage...
Like, that Emperor did nothing, let's be real.
Yeah.
Leadpaint doesn't know that yet, but, I mean, as Kolento plays nothing, he'll find out.
You have to account for the worst, though. You have to assume that those 4 cards in his hand were like...
Are, like, Warsong Commander, Patron, the second Frothing, and
But
Execute.
he was going to play his taunts anyway, most likely, so it doesn't really change his line of play.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this. Do you rather prefer a Senjin or a Sludge Belcher? Okay, well,
yeah.
answer that.
I'm fine with the Sledge here because it's hard to get punished. He would need like exactly Warsong, Patron, Interrage. That's like the best way to punish a Belcher. And in that case, I think you just lose.
You think later on the Belcher's worse because of the 1/2?
Yeah, it does actually scale worse into the game.
I see, yeah. Yeah,
And
I
it
can
costs
understand
more,
that.
so it's like harder to fit into your curve.
Yep.
So like on 8, maybe he'll go Senjin Keeper.
We get some card draw here with the Acolyte of Pain, but
Yeah, that Acolyte's decent draw.
it
Yeah.
feels like it might be
But
like
how do
too
you draw
late.
with it?
Yeah.
Do you waste a Whirlwind? Do you just throw that out?
No,
Because that's
I think,
cycling.
I think you just Interrage.
Even that's just cycling.
Yeah, it's fine. Cycling
Yeah.
with armor.
Oh, that's
Whoa.
really good. Wow.
That looks pretty good to me.
Wow, yeah. That was exactly what he needed.
Yeah, now he can draw 4 cards off this Battle Rage. And so
Another
the
one off
Emperor
the
did
Whirlwind.
turn out to be
And he
pretty
gets one
valuable.
off the Whirlwind anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
Leadpaint has some frustration in his
So-
forehead there. He's like, oh, come on.
That has to be the worst draw
furrowing
for
his brow.
Leadpaint to see. Yep.
Oh,
A
God.
little bit of a reaction.
Everyone
from
is
him.
getting in here.
Luckily, his Sledge Belcher lived. I don't even know, though. Like, if he could have killed the Sledge Belcher, would you even? Because then you can trade out the Slime, which is a liability.
The thing about Druid and Grim Patron Warriors, a lot of times once the patrons are out, there's not many ways for you to deal with it. You have to deal with each one individually. You have to like Keeper one, Wrath another, because you can't like swipe it down. A lot of
Swipes
times
are gone anyway.
Yeah,
Double Keeper might help though.
that's true, but it's a mana just to deal 4 damage.
You also need a way to kill the most fresh one that's at 3/3.
Yeah.
Because if you don't kill it, it runs into your Keeper and then spawns another 3/3.
So Keeper takes out one, but has the potential to spawn 2 more.
Exactly. Like, it seems like that's like everything in Druid.
What do you think about healing the Belcher here? Trading the Acolyte.
Then it can still die.
Could still die, and if you're gonna heal,
I'd rather just war probably.
Yeah, but if you war, you just lose to execute.
You do.
And you just saw him just draw most of his deck there.
Well, those are basically the 2 plays, unless you want to draw with lore, which it's like, what are you trying to draw towards?
Yeah.
But so he's gonna go with your play, the heal. Makes sense.
I think I would have killed the Acolyte though. Just because if he does have execute, it makes it a lot worse.
Wow.
Okay. We only have 8 mana,
yeah,
actually.
that's not that insane. You might have to set up the Despite first, but then you do that, and then it's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this turn, if he played Warsong Commander or Grim Patron, he would just have to throw both of the creatures on the board into this thing, and he'd only spawn
get
one extra. Yeah.
And it would just die to what's on board plus a Keeper.
Yeah.
Or a Wrath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Despite development here.
But still, drawing the War Song is incredibly important. That and Execute were probably his best draws.
I'm just thinking, like, I don't think you Gnomish. I think the Cruel Task is maybe better.
Yeah, I kind of liked Cruel Task here. That way you can... I guess you don't really need to clear the slime. But you probably want to, just to get through 3 more damage. You're getting really close to lethal. But he decides to dig, and, he gets 2 executes. So
with a Despite.
So now I'd say that...
I hate to say it, but...
he's dead.
This looks like a pretty dead Druid.
Yeah. Pretty depressed Leadpaint.
Yeah.
Such a close game, too. Like,
it was, like, last turn.
good old Battle Rage.
Yeah.
It sounds kind of bad, but Leadpaint is actually pretty used to losing. Now, okay, it sounds bad, I know, but he actually...
well, I'm used to losing, too.
yeah.
I know what you mean.
So he made it through 2 opens, and he went through 2 Legendary Series regular season weeks, where in both of those he lost. But then he came back in the Redemption Tournament.
Yeah, you only get 2 chances here, though.
Yeah. Their time he got 3. This time he only gets 2. So he's got to sort of speed up the whole process of winning a little bit.
Yeah, by 1.
By 1. 1 unit of speed.
Yeah, he's really taken over what to do, but...
The thing is, like, he's taken a really long time when he knows he's in, like, really bad
that
shape.
tends to happen, yeah.
But he, like, what's kind of impressed me a little bit, he's really realizing that. Like, if like, think about it. If you don't actually know Kolento's hands, this doesn't look like a catastrophe.
You know, the guy has 7 cards?
Yeah.
So it's like he either has draw or the cards he needs.
Yeah.
When he had 2 cards, a lot more manageable.
Yeah.
And he has a Death Spite developed.
And another Battle Rage in case, you know, he wants more cards.
So you're thinking, how much damage could he do with 7 cards next turn? Like 100. Can my Ancient of War have the potential to block 100 damage?
Do you know what would be a cool card? One that just disallowed, like, the 7 creature limitation on your board.
What, so you could have 14 creatures, 20 creatures?
Yeah, you just have, like, 30 Grim Patron.
You heard it here first from Crip, buff Grim Patron.
You're a
Make
monster.
it exponentially scale. So I think he's 3 off lethal here. He's just going to go for a safe play. Oh, yeah, this is kind of going to blow him out, because this makes 4 patrons.
Yeah.
You can't clear 4 patrons.
No, so hard. 2 of them are going to be full health.
And he still has Battle Rage, Execute. Yeah, he's got just everything he needs.
And the actual combo of Warsong Commander, Grim Patron, because he didn't even throw out the Warsong Commander there.
You know, like, Kolento was in such a dominating position this game, but I think he actually found, like, one of the better lines here, which is, like, taking a somewhat safe play but you also just have everything that you need in case something goes wrong.
Yeah. Well, what do you even do here? You can... Okay, so he's got...
Double keeper. Double keeper hero power.
16 damage.
I think the ideal thing you would have to do here would be like combo if you had it, and then you could clear all the patrons and hope he doesn't have the other patron, which he does.
What?
So...
Yeah, I like Crip's play here.
In this spot, yeah, I mean...
Actually, I think Senjin keeper and then hero power down to 2/1's a little better.
So you'd keeper the 5/1?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, because the keepers can be a little bit of a liability. The Senjin actually blocks more damage overall over the course of the next turn.
Yeah, Leadpaint's not too sure either.
Oh, well, that's a play, too.
That seems like a good play.
Yeah, he was dead, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be a pretty dominating and quick 2-0 lead for Kolento in this series. And it looks like all the players that were making predictions are looking to be correct now.
It looked like Kolento was maybe falling asleep there for a second. So maybe Leadpaint can take that to his advantage.
Yeah.
After talking to Kolento over the last couple of days, it seems like that's just how he looks.
Okay.
Yeah. He's just always so relaxed, it seems.
Oh, he's jet lagged a little bit. I mean,
that's true.
From Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I feel that.
He's a very relaxed dude. He likes just hanging out, watching Hearthstone.
Mostly playing Hearthstone, I think.
Mostly playing Hearthstone.
Yeah, mostly playing.
All right, well, throughout the day, some of the players here at the studios have been facing off against Frodan with a little segment we like to call Frodan versus the World. When we last checked up on Frodan, he was actually down against the World 0-1. But it looks like Frodan has turned around the day and has tied up that series. Of course, Frodan playing for his very own Tempo Storm. And actually, the World's playing for Tempo Storm now, so they stole him away
Tempo
from
Storm's
Team
been branching
Archon.
out a lot, I guess.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They just signed the entire World. And the World loves to play some Hunter. And I'm pretty sure Dan has been pretty frustrated with the Hunter. You can see Dan on your screen there really concentrating.
Is Frodan watching the stream to see what his opponent has there?
No. Oh, Frodan's stream sniping. I can see the reflection in his glasses. Yeah, he's dead serious there. Oh! Wow.
If you do want to play against Frodan, you can probably just head over here to the ESL studios in Burbank and hitting them up for a few games.
Yeah, I think we do still have room available over the next couple of days. So we're actually giving away packs for whoever can take down the Frodan. So if you think you are part of the World,
I should do that.
And you want to take down Frodan, make sure you head on over here and get some free pack codes. Chalky's like,
literally free packs.
Why do they have to be hunters?
I actually took down Frodan and got a pack code.
Look at that! He actually showed the pack code.
Can you show the pack code?
We're off stream now, but
damn.
Next time, keep that out there.
I promise you guys, I have a pack code.
I wouldn't put the actual code. No, turn it around. Someone's gonna steal that code. There
if you can zoom in on this code, you deserve it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, take it from me.
But the packs.
The pack.
There's like
a single pack.
There's like a golden Dr. Boom in there.
I've actually hit my account limit on free packs. I've been to so many events. So
okay.
Yeah, I'll probably give it away on my Twitter at ChalkyHS.
Shameless
Chalky_HS.
Wow. Amazing.
You even messed up your own Twitter handle in that self-promotion.
Well, here we are getting to the third game, possibly the final game in Kolento versus Leadpaint. Leadpaint sticking with the Druid against what's, I would guess, Handlock or Demon Handlock.
Yeah.
Would this be the first 3-0 of the day?
I think it would.
Yeah.
Would it really?
I believe it would.
We've had a lot of 2-0 leads, but I guess a lot of comebacks.
It's ended in a lot of 3-1s.
Most of those 2-0s have ended for the opponent.
Yeah.
Well, Leadpaint's still in it, sort of. So it is Demon Zoo.
Yeah.
Is it Zoo?
Yeah, it's a demony zooey thing. It's very late
the power
gamey.
overwhelm, so.
The only tech choices that could be in there that I don't think are Sea Giants or Sea Giant. I know he plays Mal'Ganis.
It doesn't seem that bad then. Like,
it's pretty bad for the Druid.
Mid-range-ish Druid with huge creatures in the end. Maybe not so bad.
I'm really surprised by this mulligan. I feel like Void Color is like one of the best cards in the deck.
Imp Gang Boss, at least,
is a pretty good card in the deck.
Especially with the coin.
He really wants a 1-drop, but the deck doesn't play that many 1-drops.
No, it's like Flame Imp and Voidwalker.
Well, that's probably the idea then. If you don't have that many 1-drops, you just get rid of everything else.
But Abusive Sergeant is like not even a 1-drop in that deck, really. It's more of a mid-game card to buster taunts.
Yeah, it costs 1 mana.
The Owl and the double PO are really going to help him get through taunts. It's pretty clunky still, but they will find a use eventually.
Yeah. Oh, well, Innervate Emperor comes in the hand of Leadpaint, which is actually pretty good because his hand is pretty terrible otherwise.
Yeah.
He can ramp up quickly, but...
Wild Growth would be insane.
I don't think it's going to happen, though. I think Innervate's going to have to be used on a 5-drop.
Yeah, that's a spot where you can attack the Voidwalker if you expect to have maybe like a Keeper of the Grove later.
I like coining the Flame Imp here.
He does have a lot of late game, but I agree. This is the turn before Keeper of the Grove hits play, and you do have to push a lot of damage before you go through the taunts.
Yep. It's also that if you have the Powerbomb Owl combo, and it's a lot worse if you have to silence your taunt.
Yeah, also with the double Power Overwhelming, he wants to push as much as he can, because I mean he has 8 bursts from hand through a taunt.
Yeah.
So he could just win the game really early. If his opponent does truly have a dead hand, which we know he has 1 Innervate. Not too insane.
That is rough. He's got to Innervate out the Druid of the Claw, which...
Yeah.
Power Overwhelm just solos it, basically.
Yeah, and it's bad because he doesn't even have a turn 4 play to follow it up. Usually when you play Innervate, you want to curve out well. Like have Innervate out a 5-drop when you have a 4-drop.
Oh, he's going to silence it just to save it.
That's what I was suggesting, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
I feel like the Owl's going to have a lot of use later in this game, though. He's just trying to power through early.
It's going to work. I mean, look at that.
That's a dead draw.
So, if he had been attacking the Voidwalker, it could be at 1 health by now. He'd just be at 28 instead of 30.
That's why the Flame Imp was so big, because like, if you did that on the Voidwalker, then the Druid would have the turn of killing your Owl.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was referring to.
Imp Gang Boss was a really good top deck there.
Yeah.
He had quite a few good top decks, though.
Yeah, it's Warlock.
Pretty much anything that he can place on the board was a good top deck.
Ancient of War.
Okay.
I mean, he's still really high health. Got a lot of taunts.
Oh.
No Owl.
Power Overwhelming Implosion is a pretty good way to deal with this.
Owl does 5 damage here.
Yeah.
But it's on the board. I mean, it already
but it did 5
3.
Damage.
Yeah, it did 3, and it does 2 itself. So.
And because it did, because it silenced, it also did 3 to face.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a Cobra Shot.
Kind of like a Cobra Shot, and that's a great card for him.
For 2 mana? Yeah. Yes, great card.
Okay.
Is Cobra Shot even good in Arena?
Yeah, it's all right.
No, it's pretty bad.
It's all right.
I can see it now. The Crypt video from tomorrow. How good is Cobra Shot?
It's really all right because you usually like run out of steam before you kill your opponent.
Yeah, you need something.
Yeah.
You can't have kill commands and quick shots. You can't have the luxury cards like us constructed players.
Right. So you're usually in top deck mode for a few turns before you end up killing your opponent, and Cobra Shot works with that because you slow down your opponent by killing off one of his creatures, and you do a little bit of face damage.
It's
all right.
Okay.
He's 1 turn off doing the Juggler Implosion.
I think Implosion and Power Overwhelming.
Oh, he's got Implosion before trading.
Let's just see what he wants to trade into.
Oh yeah, because he's gonna power, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the 1
that
imp
makes sense.
is.
You get rid of. Who cares about the 1 imp?
Yeah.
That's probably correct.
That Flame Imp has been through a lot.
So, if he had hero powered that Voidwalker, he'd be at 17, and a swipe would clear this whole board. But he doesn't have a swipe anyway. Poor Leadpaint.
But you know,
poor Leadpaint.
As Jackie has reminded us, he could have hero powered the Voidwalker 3 times now.
Twice.
Almost. Twice. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So this is the game where you hope your Warlock opponent draws nothing. You waste a bunch of cards, taunt enough, not take damage until you draw a swipe.
He looks pretty dead.
And then maybe almost stabilize.
Yeah, that's what I would have probably done. Is just like, you just gotta hope. I mean, I don't think Leadpaint's in the greatest mindset ever. Like, he conceded last game. And I mean, just personally.
God.
Oh, jeez. Can't catch a break.
That's bad.
That's actually really bad because even if he had gotten, well, no, if he got Mal'Ganis, that'd probably been worse. What this Voidcaller is going to summon out of Mal'Ganis anyway.
Yeah, it would have been worse in this exact scenario, but
because those imps all
those imps are just going to destroy him.
Leadpaint's like, oh, got my Ancient of War.
His field is 6 demons. 6.
So it's just like,
Wait, how much damage is this? He throws in the Void Caller here.
You know, if
summons
this
up-
isn't lethal, we should just call it lethal.
No. Usually
Yeah.
I'm in the boat, like, okay, if it's within like 5, we'll say it's lethal just to cover our
I think
bases.
it is within 5. This is a lot.
That is a lot. All right, 7, 10, 13, 16 damage.
Here goes the TJ counting. Well, we've got at least 10. We could have...
Even if he rolls 4, it's...
He could have 14 damage.
Yeah. Even if he rolled a 4 on
think that's
implosion,
the
he still wouldn't
max.
have it. Because he wouldn't spawn any imps, so the
He
Night
gets
Juggler-
1 imp.
Oh, yeah.
After he trades in.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you trade in 2, then you lose damage.
Yeah.
So you can do 12 or 14 damage. But the 14, you'd have to roll 4. So... You know, I think Kolento's okay with that, though.
Yeah.
I think he's happy with where the game's at. He's just going to take 8 damage.
All right, well, it's looking a lot like Kolento is going to take this series 3-0. I don't even know
No
what
way.
Leadpaint can draw.
Oh, top deck.
Top deck!
he does get to stay alive, kind of.
Can he stabilize, Crip?
Kind of.
No chance.
No chance. This is one of those games where, like, maybe if he had slightly better draws, this would be close. But
The Druid matchup against this
not even close.
this mid-rangey demon zoo is just really tough because there's just so many power plays that they can make that if you don't have swipe at the exact right
I like
time, it'll get punished.
suiciding the Void Walker.
Well, you would have been right. He rolled that 4. Rip BGH. Yeah, he would have gotten 1 imp.
Well, sufficient way to do this is
So he's got... Is he 1 off lethal? I think so.
well, if he throws in the Void Walker here,
Crip would have lethaled him.
Oh, damn.
Crip would have lethaled him, man. Wait, why is he juggling first? Should have juggled after.
you know,
Oh, okay. He wanted the Void Color over the 1/1.
yeah.
Yeah. I think it was 2 off lethal anyway.
All right, well, it looks like that is going to be game. Leadpaint throws out the well-played,
Man,
honorable Sudoku.
poor guy.
Well, that is some pretty tough stuff.
Yeah. The first 3-0 of the day. Kolento with a little smile on his face.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
pretty happy.
Yeah.
I think that might be Photoshop.
Yeah. And Leadpaint with a skeptical look on his face. Not bad look? Okay. Well, the first 3-0 of the day.
I wonder what he's writing down. Like, what are the notes in that game? Like,
I shouldn't have played
crap.
Druid.
Dear Diary.
Dear
Today
Diary,
I
I
got
once
wrecked.
had Wild Growth in my Druid deck.
Yeah, he didn't draw Wild Growth.
Not a single time. Not even like later on in the game.
Oh, man.
Like,
He
forget about his opening
He played
hand.
Tempo Mage and got out-tempoed by Priest.
Yeah. That's wow.
What
That's
a life.
brutal.
That's brutal energy.
Yeah. He's not out yet, though.
No, he's just got to win his next 2, which
Yeah.
might be pretty difficult.
It's doable.
He's got Kit Kats and Domdus left in his group, and it's going to be the match we're going to see
Yep.
after a few talks from the players.
Yeah. It's going to be a tough road ahead of him, though. But what people were saying about Kolento, I mean, he's lived up to the hype so far. He 3-0'd his first opponent. People were saying, even talking to people that weren't even playing, they're like, oh, yeah, Kolento and Life Coach are probably the 2 players to watch coming into the whole tournament. And it's looking like that's might live up to the hype.
Yeah. Kolento's pretty good at this game, it turns out.
Yep. I don't know if the 3-0 really calls for that, though. I think Kolento
Yeah.
played a pretty standard game, and Leadpaint got absolutely brutally owned by the card draw RNG.
Yeah.
I think that's what we just saw.
Yeah. It was rough.
Yeah.
I'd like to see more of what that deck lineup can do against a different lineup. We saw the Kazan Mystic as well.
Yeah. Both players had some pretty interesting decks. Like, was there a Hunter in either lineup?
Yeah,
I think-
Kolento.
Did Leadpaint have one?
Yeah, they both had hunters.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
We just didn't see it.
They didn't
Well, we
both
saw-
have Hunters.
Yeah, Kolento didn't.
Kolento did not play
Oh, yeah,
Hunter.
he had Warlock Warrior.
Kolento's
and
the
Priest.
first player without Hunter to win. He's the first player without Hunter.
Whoa.
No, he's not. The Demigod didn't have Hunter either. And he won the group.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, come on, Chalky.
I have bad memory. Whoops.
Yeah.
I don't even know what happened.
Man, Hunter sucks.
Apparently, according to our very small sample size.
Yeah.
That must suck. All right, well, we do have an interview ready with the winner, Kolento, on stage. So let's send it over to Dan.
All right, well, I'm joined by Kolento. That series looked easy. Was it?
Good luck.
All right, fair enough. Pretty straightforward. You definitely had some things work out in your favor. A lot of people criticize Priest, and they feel like it's not a good deck to bring the Conquest. In fact, some people were expressing their doubt of Priest as a deck. Why is it such a good deck for you, Kolento?
It's a decent deck. Just like it.
Man, a few words, but a lot of big plays for sure. So, Kolento, you have some pretty good momentum under you so far. Your next match will be either between Kit Kats and Domdus. Do you feel confident against both of those guys?
No.
Why not?
I mean, they're good players. How can I feel confident playing against a good player?
Ooh, the trash talk is strong in this one. All right, well, he feels that they're strong players. I hope that they don't take that too personally, if you ask me. Well, thank you so much, Kolento, for this quick interview. We don't want to take too much of your time. We have to get ready for the rest of your matches. And we're going to get ready for our next match, which is Kit Kats versus Domdus here in Group B. So we're going to give it over to the couch with TJ. I was looking for a cue there. TJ's over in the couch with a couple of players. He's going to get their thoughts before we go into our next match.